Melissa Pajoli, life leadership executive and connection coach. We are here. We've made it. 7 weeks of different types of intimacy. And I'm excited to tell you that we are here at the creative and social week for intimacy. So if you've not yet listened to the week prior, we've went through sexual intimacy, emotional intimacy, intellectual intimacy, physical intimacy, spiritual intimacy, than the familial, functional, and experiential intimacy. Today, we're at the creative and social, one that I personally, not really frequent with. I have to really put a little more effort into it if I'm being completely transparent. So just being able to understand that there are different ways and different styles of intimacy and understanding, again, coming back to that 1 to 5 model, like how important is this for me? And then when I really look at my life, how consistently executed is it based on my level of prioritization? Like that is the purpose of these last 7 weeks, to get you really clear on how do you want to be treated? What kind of intimacy do you like? What kind of intimacy makes you thrive based on your type of intimacy and your level of priority? Where are you at in the execution and fulfillment and experience of that style of intimacy that is being exhibited? Like it's all about self-awareness, people. So I'm going to share my screen so we can go through the social, creative, and social styles of intimacy. So when we're here, what we're looking at is this is more of the creative space, art, dance, music, anything that gets you connecting to your body. So physical activities together, whether it's running a race, taking a yoga class, again, there are different styles of massages that you or types of yoga classes, like Kundalini is a great style of yoga that you could try that would get you into this more creative, social, connected space. There are different types of massages that are there to help connect and bring more arousal to you and your partners. You can look those up. Um, Social is celebrating all the good things in your relationship. One of the most useful things you can do is reflect with one another on what's going well. Like, how are you, like, what are you doing well that's making me feel loved in the relationship? What were things you did that, stripped away the love? When we come from the space of verbalizing often what the person we're in a relationship with is doing well and also what they're doing that's not so well, allows us to become more creative in ways in which we can show up differently. So you're not looking at it as a way of like, I get to be critical and make you feel like a piece of shit. This is more from a space of like, oh, I'm checking in with where I'm at, who I am, and how I'm feeling. And this is something that you're doing currently that does not elicit me feeling loved, respected, and like supported. Talk openly about your feelings and what you need from the relationship. This kind of piggybacks off of the celebration. And the reason celebrating is so important is because where attention goes, energy flows. Um, my therapist used to tell me all the time that like it takes 20 good things in a relationship to combat like the 1 to 2 negative things you do. So if you're a person that's like really critical or you can get defensive and like find a way to like bring things down, it's even more important for you to be able to be like really appreciative and celebratory. Create new adventures for intimacy. Like I think I said it last week. This could be something just like simple. Go dine in the dark. Get on Eventbrite or get on Fever. Get online and look for things that are different and get you out of your box to where it could maybe be arousing or it could just be maybe like really grounding, centering, and give you a different experience of connecting. And then obviously, when it comes to the relationship avenue, there's always going to be highs and lows. I think if there's anything I've learned in my life and any of my relationships, it's being able to embrace both of these highs and lows as long as you're feeling safe. People's values change, their lifestyles change, their desires change. And when we're not being honest with what we're feeling, what we want, and truly honoring and answering whether or not we can provide that for a person, this is where the highs and lows get really hard to accept because there's a level of expectation and loyalty that can kind of get in the way. But making sure that the expectations, attachments, and loyalty aren't on an idea of a person. So when it says talk openly about your feelings and what you need, that is really correlated tightly with accepting that your relationship's going to be highs and lows and creating agreements on like if things are bad, set a date to really revisit this, get clear on negotiables, non-negotiables, check in with values, reassess the needs, and you may have to make a decision on whether or not it's sustainable or not. Safety, respect, core values, those are like the top three things that often get in the way of people being able to make it through those lows, as well as attachment. So, in your creative and social intimacy, I challenge you to find ways to hone into that spiritual intimacy, the you with you, so that you're not so attached to having a relationship be a certain way when it's in the lows, which is why you get to then be creative, to be more social, to create a different experience so that you can detach because you don't want to be in a low and have nothing else be going on to give you something else to not only focus on, but to allow different energy in that may help you move through the low. So I hope this was helpful. Who knows what next month is going to bring, but intimacy is one of the things that was the breaker of my past relationship of 5 years. It is the number one common theme I talk with all my male clients and that have been in marriages anywhere from 10 years onward. With the digital realm, intimacy is becoming harder and harder. And with the reality of that, we get to get really clear and stay consistent in enhancing our levels of intimacy, whether it's social, emotional, creative, intellectual, like we get to do better. So if you have any questions regarding this, please let me know. It's something I'm very passionate about. And just know you're not alone. Like if your relationship is struggling, there are like millions of people in the same boat with you, and just like hang in there, get really clear on what you want and be able to verbalize it. So on a scale from 1 to 5, how much of a priority is the creative and social? And then how present to you are you with receiving it? How often based on your level of priority?